kondolwayo imithandazo yethu Nkosi sikelela thina usapho lwayo wena uluka sitshaba sa Yesu ufelice tintwale masweli sibuluke sitshaba sa Yesu. Hello, welcome once again to Leadership Academy. We are continuing this series. Our topic is democracy good for Africa? Is democracy good for Africa? And I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to Leadership Academy once more. It's been a pleasure coming your way, you wonderful friends out there, and I hope everyone is enjoying the weekend today. It's going to be an exciting one, as always. Is democracy good for Africa? Last week, or the week before, I believe, we started this topic, or this discussion, is democracy good for Africa? And we defined democracy as demos kratias, which means the power of the people, which emanates from a Greek word. So democracy, the name democracy emanated from the Greek word demos kratia, which now we have as an institution or a governance institution all over the world. So our topic is this democracy good for Africa? Because like we discussed the other time, Africa has gone through a series of dispensations. We've seen coup d'etats. We've actually seen kingdoms, coup d'etats, and we are seeing a new wave of democracy on the continent of Africa. And some people argue that it's not a good thing for Africa. Some people, some assert or allude to the fact that democracy happens to be a Western institution being pushed on Africa. So we just want to take a look at this particular word called democracy and contribute our 2 cents to the discussions going on out there as to whether democracy is good for Africa or not. And today we're going to be looking at 2 major pillars or foundational pillars of democracy. And as the definition goes, the power of the people. The power of the people. So now we're going to look at the people. The other time we started looking at the people, I want us to go a little more detailed today. We're going to be looking at the people and the people who have the power. In other words, the people would have to govern themselves. The people would have to govern themselves. We have to govern ourselves. But then all of us cannot be part of the government, the physical government, but we can be part of the system which forms the government. I repeat this. All of us cannot be part of the physical government, but we can be part of the system which forms the government. And that is why in democracy, it is preferred that people go to the ballot box and vote every 4 years or every 6 years, every whatever years the Constitution demands of the people to do. So this time, as we are looking at the people, If you take the Constitution of the United States, for example, one of the key phrases you see in that Constitution is "we the people." We the people. It means the decision or the rules or the laws or the principles that are laid down to guide that society was done by the people, everybody inclusive, whether active or inactive. Whether you are passive or active, you are included in the rule of law. So, because the people have to govern themselves, the people becomes a central point of democracy, or the people become the important ingredients in democracy. You cannot have democracy without the decision or the participation of the people. In other words, the people will have to come together and draw up a plan, a program. Some will call it an agenda, but today we'll look at it from this perspective. We, the people, have to come together to create the spirit of the community, the spirit of the law, the spirit of the principles. Now, I'll be using these words, spirit and letter, very often today, and I'm going to explain. The spirit is what needs to be done, the bigger picture, the agenda, the vision. And the letter is how it is achieved. And so we, the people, need to come together and form the spirit of the community, the spirit of the principles, that which is going to govern the community. We, the people. So every law that is made has a spirit and it has a letter. The spirit of the law is what we, the people, want to see happening. The letter of the law is how it is going to happen or how it is going to get done. And so when we go to the ballot box and we thumbprint or push a button to elect a senator, a parliamentarian, a governor, a mayor, whoever we elect, all we are saying is, I have an idea of how I want my life to be run, or I want my life to go. I have a vision. I have a perspective of life which I want to live. And I realize that you are an intelligent human being who can articulate my perspective, or who can help in putting laws together or principles together that will guide the community. And guess what? Those are going to be my principles, because those are the ideals that I want to see done in our community or in our society. So you choose, you delegate your power, you delegate your authority to an individual and say, hey, you are the one we think has the intelligence or has shared the same vision and ideas with us. So go and write the letter of the law for us to follow, to achieve the spirit of the law. So in choosing somebody to go to either parliament or to Congress or to be president, it is a very, very important decision we are making. It means I am giving you the keys to my life. That is how we trust our people we elect into government. We are telling them, we're giving you the keys to my life. And for the next 6, 10 years, 5 years, 4 years, whatever years, which is agreed upon, I need you to come up with laws. I need you to come up with the letter of the law, that which will help me achieve the spirit of the law. And in America, the spirit of the law, or the spirit of the Constitution, or the spirit of the community is what they call the American dream. So each and every individual has been made to buy into that dream for their lives. So they have accepted this dream. And so based on that dream, they want to delegate their authority to somebody to go to the Congress to enact laws or to write laws to help them individually, me, you, everybody, to be able to achieve that dream, which is the spirit of the law, or the spirit of the Constitution, or the spirit of the community. So in democracy, the people becomes the most important ingredient in democracy. And so when the people decide to make the laws, that is why it is important you don't have to sit on the fence and look on unconcerned, because those laws are going to guide your life. They are going to regulate how you live your day-to-day life. How you pay your kids' school fees are going to be regulated by the laws the people we delegate our powers to make. So it is very important you participate in the process of the election of these people. Very crucial. Because all you're saying is, I have an idea. I have an idea of how I want my life and my children's lives to be like in the next 10, 15 years. And so we need your help to make laws to guide us to that particular vision. And so this is another important part. When the people delegate the authority to somebody to write laws, the laws become your law. It becomes my law. It becomes your law. It becomes everybody's laws. And so now, when I break that law, guess what? I am breaking my law, which is very important. And so if I don't value my law, then why would I expect somebody else to value the law? That is what democracy is telling us. We're just picking it apart. And then at the end of the day, we draw a conclusion, whether it is good for Africa or not. So the people come together, elect a group of people they deem intelligent. And that is the underlying word. They deem intelligent. So when you are electing people, please don't base it on any shallow ideologies or any shallow perspective. It's got to be based on your life, where you want to see your life, the ideas you have. You got to find a candidate who has similar ideas, because that is the only way he or she is going to help you to fulfill that dream. So when we make the law, it becomes our law. Because guess what? We elected the people to make the laws for us on our behalf. And that is what makes the law supreme. So in democracy, it is the supremacy of the law. The rule of law is the supremacy of the law and the power of the people. These are the two most important ingredients in democracy. So the people are very important in democracy. And the law made by the people becomes the rule or the principle guiding the people. So upholding the law, the integrity of the law, the spirit of the law, the letter of the law is very important. And if you understand this concept, of the spirit and the letter of the law. You don't kill somebody who has an opposing view. You don't fight somebody who has an opposing view. Because guess what? You both agree on the spirit of the law. You both agree that you want to see a better community. You both agree that you want to see better schools. You both agree that you want to see better and good and healthy drinking water. You both agree that you want to see better and quality teachers teaching your children, which is the spirit of the law. Now, the letter of the law might differ. The route I would want to choose might be different from your route. But so long as we agree on the spirit of the law, that is where we bond. The letter of the law might differ. We may have different ideas as to how to get there. But then the only important thing we got to do is to sit down and weave ideas together to be able to achieve the spirit of the law. That is why it is not necessary for me to kill an opponent or for me to kill somebody who does not share my idea of the letter of the law. Because guess what? My idea alone is not going to help us to achieve the spirit of the law. So I need the opposing side so we can jaw, we can discuss ideas, we can put ideas together. I can pull a little bit from him, he can pull a little bit from me, and we put it together to be able to achieve the spirit of the law. So it is very, very important we take notice of these two components in democracy and ask ourselves, are these what we are practicing in Africa? Are the people the most important component in the democracy being practiced in Africa now? Is the rule of law the important ingredient in the democracy we're practicing in Africa now? The law becomes supreme. Why? Because we, the people, wrote the law. We, the people, chose the law. So the law becomes supreme. That is why it is called the supreme laws of the land. The Constitution becomes the law of the land. That becomes the supreme law of the land because we wrote it. We, in terms that we, the people, elected people who share our ideas, who are representing us. When somebody is representing you, it means the person is you share common ideas, you share common vision. And so the person is going to translate your vision, which is the spirit, into a letter which will help guide the community to achieve the spirit of the law. And so democracy cannot be called democracy if these two important ingredients are missing in democracy, according to the name democracy, the power of the people. So if we don't see the people in democracy and we don't see their power, which is the rule of law, then we don't have a democracy. Then we don't have a democracy. Now, the next time we're going to be looking at the other forms of government, especially the military rules in Africa. And then we'll compare the two to see which one is best for Africa. That is why it is important for you to participate in this particular discussion. So, the people have written the law, which is the spirit of the community. In other words, the people write down laws which is the letter of the law, to help them achieve the vision of the community. So one of the most important things in democracy is to have the spirit of the law. The spirit of the law. The spirit of the law is the vision of the nation. Some will call it the agenda of the nation. Where is the nation going? What is the agenda of the nation in the next 5, 10 years, 20 years? Where is the nation going? This is the spirit of the community, the spirit of the community, which becomes the spirit of the law. So the community, which is the people, they have an agenda. The people would have an idea, a vision of where they want to see themselves in the next 5, 10 years. So that becomes the national agenda. So let us ask ourselves this question. The democracy being practiced in Africa, do we have an agenda for the nations? Do we have a vision for the nations? Can we tell, can we say that this is a vision for the nation? For instance, let me take Ghana, for instance. Can we say that this is the agenda for Ghana? This is the vision for Ghana in the next 10, 20 years? This is where we want to see Ghana at in the next 10, 20 years? If we don't, and we believe or claim that we are practicing democracy, then we need to come back to the drawing board and start thinking of a national agenda which will become the spirit of the nation. And then we can walk back and write the letter of that nation to fulfill the spirit of the nation. It is very, very critical, because if we claim we're practicing democracy and we don't have a national agenda or a vision, then we, the people, are not doing what is expected of us in terms of the definition of democracy. Because the power of the people would have to write the laws, the rules, the regulations, the principles, which will become the power of the people, which would then be able to meet the spirit of the community, of the people. Because why are we even writing the letter of the law when we don't have the spirit of the law as a nation? Can we say as a nation, especially the nation of Ghana, because that's where I'm familiar with, can we say that we have a national vision or a national agenda for the people, by the people, to be fulfilled by all of the people? Can we say that we have a national agenda whereby everybody knows where the nation is going, or where we want to be at in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years? I remember some years back we had Vision 2020. And next year will be 2020. How close are we to that vision? How are we holding ourselves accountable to the spirit of that vision? Is it just probity and accountability? Are we just holding ourselves accountable because of probity? Or are we holding ourselves accountable because we, the people, put down a law, or put down a constitution, or put down a vision to fulfill? And for that matter, we are holding ourselves accountable to the fulfillment of the vision, and not because somebody is going to probe us. It is very important. It is very, very, very important that we understand what democracy is. Because if we understand what democracy is, then we would know whether it is for us as a people or not. And so, one, we, the people, need to come together and have a vision. We have to have a vision to know where our lives are leading to, that of our children and that of our children's children. And so when we know what we want to achieve within a certain amount of time, then we can walk back and write down the letter of the law to fulfill and to achieve that particular vision. And so it becomes all of our responsibilities, all of us. It becomes our responsibilities. And that is what sets the bar for our conduct and for our commitment to the Constitution or to that particular vision. And so when we set that vision and now we know what the vision is, then it is very easy for us to write the letter of that particular vision, to write the letter to be able to help us fulfill the spirit of that particular vision. But if we don't know what the vision is, how would we even know what we are going to achieve in, let's say, the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? That becomes the guiding light. The vision of the nation becomes the guiding light. And it is very important. That is the reason why we, the people, would have to delegate or would have to relinquish our power to somebody. It is because of the vision, because we want to see XYZ done. And so we elect people to help us see the XYZ happen in our lives. So one, it requires your participation. It requires my participation because it is we, the people. That is democracy, the people. And it's our power. Power in terms of what we want to see done. And so we put them down in the form of a vision, and then we walk back to write a constitution to help guide, direct, order our steps to that particular vision. And so it doesn't matter whether it's A or B in office, the vision remains the same, because guess what? It is the vision of the nation. And that is the spirit of the nation. And so it does not matter whether it's party A or party B in power, the spirit of the nation is being pursued. It means your political party's agenda would have to fit into the spirit of the nation. And so that is where we hold ourselves accountable. We, the people. That becomes our benchmark for accountability. We hold ourselves to the spirit of the nation, not because somebody is going to probe me, not because somebody is looking at what I'm doing, whether I'm doing the right thing or not. Because I am committed to the vision of the nation, guess what? It will propel me to do the right thing, to be able to get to the spirit of the nation or the vision of the nation. And one of the problems we're facing, especially in Africa, it's because we are practicing an institution, a governance institution we don't understand. We are practicing democracy we don't understand. And if we do understand democracy, then we will be able to ask that question: is this system good for us or not? Thank you for spending the time with me to listen to this discussion. Is democracy good for Africa? Next week, we're going to continue this discussion. This is part 2. We're going to have part 3, where we will talk about, we probably will run up in the part 3. We'll talk about the military rule we've had in Africa, and we will talk about so-called democracy we have now in Africa. And then we can draw the conclusion to see whether democracy is good for Africa or not. It's been a pleasure coming your way today. I'm grateful you became part of this discussion. You can go to AfriWIC International Organization and on Facebook and send us messages of your questions, contributions. And when we meet next week, we are going to discuss those questions and contributions. But next week, we'll take a look at the military rule we've had in Africa, and we'll take a look at the democracy we are practicing in Africa to see which of these 2 dispensations is good for Africa. Thank you once more. I'll see you next week, same time. This is Nana Osei Bonsu Jr. of AfriWIC International Organization and CERTO Leadership International. See you next week. Be blessed.